B.O.B.
What up, word? It's your boy Chuck Wick Ill, aka Charles Brown, back again with another review. But first, I want to ask you, are you good? Good. All right, man. Today is a great day in the annals of hip hop, in the history of hip hop, because we got something that was a little more fabled than the last one, which was Nasir, which a lot of people was excited about until they got it. But this time, Lost Tapes 2, Nas just released it. I want to say a couple days ago. True hip hop heads already either heard it or know it's out, so they can listen to it at some point in the future. But this is the buzz amongst purists such as myself. I'm a purist, but I'm not a unbending purist that don't bend, don't have no cut cards. Just everything gotta be whatever I say it's gotta be. No, I am flexible. But at the end of the day, I am a purist at heart. All of my thoughts and ambitions lean more so towards the pure core of what we do in this thing, this art form of hip hop, as in just trying to be true to the heart and true to the sound. That when you strip all of the bullshit away, you got the most purest, the jazzy, the soulful, the uncommercialized lyrics, the skeleton of like a person's soul shining through, not the top surface that's iced out and all this nonsense, the pureness. And this is where we are with Nas, Lost Tapes 2. Lost Tapes 2, according to Nas, these are songs he's recorded. I was watching an interview and Nas said he records mostly in the winter. In the summertime, he's having fun, but in the winter, he just records, ends up with all these songs. And he likes to do songs here and there. He don't like to put out whole albums. This according to Nas. I didn't make this. He's on Title with an interview. And when he makes these songs, he saves them and he keeps them for whatever reason, just like any other artist. I mean, I'm sure Jay got 500 tracks and that he from, if you're talking 20 years of recording, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the span of this Lost Tapes. I don't know when this was begun or when it started, or I'm sure he just grabs a bunch of songs from the last probably 10, 15 years of recording. Because some stuff that's too old ain't gonna sound right, no matter what you do with it. But, this is a collection, a collective of tracks over the years that I guess they had to have the same feel to fit the project, to make sense to even be on here. But nevertheless, we got the Lost Tapes 2, which I personally think is better than Lost Tapes 1. This is just my opinion. I don't even remember Lost Tapes 1 like that. That tell you how much I was listening to it. This right here, though, and I don't really even know how lost this stuff is. I think some of this stuff is freshly created, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's lost like that, like, oh, we found a dat that was lost for 15 years and now this is not that. This got joints that I know was recently recorded, recently thrown together, because first of all, Prodigy just died. So the song on here, The Prodigy, can't be lost. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy died, last year? So the track had to be recorded after the death and after Nas came to terms with it. So some of the stuff is recently recorded. A lot of it, like I think the Swizz Beatz songs are recently recorded, but they said they had over 2 hours of music recorded, him and Swizz. So I don't know how long ago this was recorded. But this is an ode to Nas. This could have he could have said this wasn't Lost. He had to say it's Lost Tapes because some of the stuff it does have a feel that it's been recorded. But at the end of the day, he could have put this out as an album and this would have been fire. I mean, just the producer lineup alone, Pete Rock, RZA, Alchemist, No ID, Pharrell's on here. It's quite a few people. Static Selector, the best. He got the greats on here. You know what I'm saying? He got the greats on here. And only one on here, I don't think Primo's on here. We've done so many joints with Primo, it is what it is. But Lost Tapes 2, man, this is a ode to Dope beats. For those that was acting funny about Nasir and Kanye, and even Kanye's track on here, it's fire. This joint is fire. If you don't like this album, you trying too hard. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like this album, you trying too hard. You trying too hard to be anti whatever you on, but this is fire to me. And I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna go song for song. I'm gonna break down to what my ear hears, to how I feel about this Lost Tapes 2. I think Nas, I'm not gonna say classic. This is as classic as you're gonna get right now from an album that was pieces and bits of a bunch of different tracks thrown together. This is what you're gonna get, as much classic as you can get without somebody trying to make 16 tracks tomorrow and make a whole new album. So we're gonna go into this album, which I feel for a throwback or B-sides type of release is a classic to me, but it's not. I'm not gonna be going around saying Lost Tapes 2 is a classic. No, I'm not doing that. But it's a very good album. I can listen to this. I will be listening to this way more than I listen to Nasir. Way more. I think Nasir, I may have gave that like 3 days of run. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. Like just to hear it and see why I wasn't 100%. It wasn't bad, but it just, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Lost Tapes 2, however, is much better. It doesn't sound rushed. That Nasir sound like him and Kanye had limited time, and he just wanted to get this in with Kanye and make this moment in time, do these 7 songs, get them out. It sounded like it was, as almost everything Kanye does, it sounds rushed. It just sounded rushed. This, however, sounds like Nas, some of these songs, he probably sat on a year. You know what I'm saying? While he wrote to it or came back to, like, this stuff sounds well thought out. These lyrics, this guy's at the top of his game with these particular songs, these particular bars. This is unmatched. This guy is the best lyricist on the face of the earth. This is unmatched skill right here. So I'm gonna go song for song like I always do. It's 16 tracks. This may be long, but I listened to every track more than once, and I gave my undivided attention to it. So without further ado, Nas, The Lost Tapes 2. Track 1, No Bad Energy, produced by Swizz Beatz and A-Rab Music. Shout out to A-Rab for getting this look. You know what I'm saying? Swizz Beatz already working Nas, but I don't know about A-Rab out of Rhode Island getting this kind of look. I know A-Rab does a lot of work and does his thing, but this is fire to be associated with Nas in this way, and I respect that. So the track has haunting keys and synths over a flat muted kick and bass. Is very dramatic but calming at the same time. Echoing children voices cascading through the track gives it depth. Nas is back with the classic lyrics, life lessons, along with psychological street knowledge, giving you jewels as usual, reminding you of who Nas is and who Nas ain't. This is a perfect way to start this album. He put it right there, like all the lyrics that you would expect. Nothing whack, no whack lines, nothing like that. No bad energy. The feel of it is just telling you I don't want no negative, you know what I'm saying? The nonsense that people be doing these days, I don't want nothing to do with it. Next song, Vernon Family, produced by Pharrell. It's a faster tempo with bright keys and an electro bass line. Has more of a dance feel, borderline happy feel, but also dark disco at the same time. It's more project talk from Nas. He represents where he comes from. He's shouting his hood, comrades, and the legends from his street, the people on his block, the people that's from that area. He's shouting them out. This song is bouncy, but not corny. I had to spin it more than once. I know a lot of people are going to hear this and be like, here we go with these Nas beats, Nas picking these beats. But it's not bad. When you listen to it again and you give it a chance, this is not a bad track. And I know why he put it second, because nothing else is like this. So he put it second so it just get it out the way. Boom. He wanted it to be different from the jump. People that's going to like this going to be like, I like this. People that ain't going to skip it. But it's not a bad track. Next song, Jero of Rap, Scat Attack. However I wrote that. Produced by Nas and Charlie Black. I believe that's Charlie Black. It's offbeat, off-center kick and drum with a boing type 808 and a chaotic trumpet-filled sample. The flow mimics a scat from a jazz musician back in the 20s and 30s. They used to scat, scoobity bop, 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 which only Nas would be brave enough to even attempt something like that. At face value, if you're just looking for bars and hard rhymes, this is not that. This is, you quickly realize that this track is a homage or an homage to the great Al Jarreau, who is a jazz legend. He's very, very popular from back in the 70s and 80s. He made a lot of great records, and really only Nas would come out with a song where he's writing this beat as if he's playing an instrument. He's using his vocals as the instrument that flows along with the beat, and is not trying to be a rapper at this point. He's trying to be like a horn or a trumpet. This is the height of creativity to me. Most average hip-hop heads, they won't piece together how he's doing this. At first listen, even I was like, what is Nas doing? Like, this was one of the first tracks that I heard off the entire album. I didn't want to hear snippets, but somebody put this up, I played it, and I was like, oh boy, I don't know if this album would up. But upon listening to the whole album and you come back to this, you realize this is not the feel of the album. But what he's trying to do is show the musicianship of an artist that raps, but they can still compete with jazz artists in the form of creativity and being one with the melody. It's not just about rapping all the time. It's about being artistic, and that's what he did. He accomplished that on this album, on this track. These last two tracks, the 2 and 3, nothing like this else on the album. They stand out on their own merit, but the rest of the album, pure hip-hop. No experiments. It's just boom. He got this Pharrell and this Charlie Black. These are that era. I think this is that era where he was still with Khalees and he was doing that between hip-hop is dead era and when he did the joint with his Pops. Like that era when he was still trying to do the jazzy stuff. But, you know, nothing else is like this. So I'm going to move forward. Next song, track 4, Lost Freestyles, produced by Static Selector. Static layers buzz synths over what appears to be an old piano sample chopped into fourths. I can't remember the name. I know this song, but offhand, during the time of this review, I cannot remember the name of the song. I wish I could, but I can't. There's a chaotic snare cadence. Nas spits one of his illest verses ever. This freestyle is nasty. Through the eyes of Pablo, the project he gives you vivid images of ghetto greatness with triumphant accolades, as Nas always does. This was a perfect pairing of two legends. Static Selector has cemented himself as a legend in this rap game. He has consistently put out beats and projects, these offbeat combinations like Static and Bun B. You know what I'm saying? Static and Currency, all these different things where he's pairing himself up with Hall of Fame greats that are surely going to be placed in the Hall of Fame, and he's making quality music. Static Selector is out of Boston, if I'm not mistaken, and he serves Boston well. Boston hip hop, Guru, Edo G, all that. He does his thing. Shout out to Static Selector. This song is dope. Next song, Tunisia, produced by RZA. This is one of the 2 tracks RZA produced. RZA got busy. Both tracks he picked from RZA are classic Wu sounds. Perfect collab. It has a Raekwon feel. It has a very Asian, or for lack of a better word, Oriental undertone. Exotic flutes mixed with old break beats. Just classic. It just feel like a classic Wu track. A Wu track. Hypnotic tales about a female named Tunisia. It's extremely dope. She's dope. She's smart. She's loyal. The more melodic rounds from Nas is the verbiage makes you feel like you can see everything that Tunisia is. This beautiful creature that he's portraying to you. This cool ghetto, you know what I'm saying? Ghetto queen that he's putting in front of you. You can basically feel the exact same things that he's feeling. This guy's lyrical, man. You don't get this every day. You don't. Next song, Royalty, track 6. Produced by Hit Boy, featuring Ravon. And Ravon is on at least 3 songs singing, and she's priceless. She's a jewel, if I'm not mistaken. If that is indeed her name, how you say her name, Ravon. she's glorious. This guy found a diamond in the rough. She's probably hot as hell on the underground, and everybody knows of it. And I'm late, but it's fantastic mixture. They work well together. More mid-tempo music held together lightly by reverse keys and flat muted understated snares, purposely lowered as to not overtake the track, leaving the vocals unobstructed and very easily digestible. The hook is gorgeous. I believe I believe that's how you pronounce the name. Like I said, only Nas would make such an elegant offering, meant purely to uplift and build young kings and queens. That's purely what this track is for. No one's doing this. No one. Everyone's trying to be thugged out rich. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, wilding. They trying to do all that, and they not really doing nothing because these kids are following this. Look at what just happened to TK. These kids are trying to be TK and Tekashi 6ix9ine. They're not trying to be kings and queens. Somebody got to put this out there, and this guy is the only one that can do it. Next song, Who Are You? Produced by Eric Hudson, featuring David Rainier. I'm going to say Rainier or Rainier. Shouts out to David Rainier. It's a slow, soulful live instrumentation filled track with strings, keys, chords, all held together with a full bass kick and a wooden-like snare, while Nas paints a picture of females and males that play the blocks versus knowledge and speakers of old heads, trying to basically make them change from the ways of playing the block, and how they deem that wrong, but how these imagined players in the game per se feel like they're not wrong for doing what they're doing. It's a powerful hook, great musicmanship by all parties. The track is smooth. Eric Hudson did a very good job. I'm really 7 songs in. I don't hear nothing whack on his album. I hear different stuff, but nothing whack. Next song, number 8, Adult Film, produced by Swizz Beatz. It's slicing hard snare and kick that's reminiscent of Big Daddy Kane's Raw, including a short sample of Kane. I get Raw. He took a little snippet and they repeated that, which made the song even harder. It has haunting pianos that mesh perfectly with a fluent live bass line. Nas portrays various lives in a multitude of pressure situations, but all with something to learn from, good or bad. Swizz Beatz accentuated the track with background singing on the hook that he did not mess this up. Swizz Beatz sometimes messes up hooks. Sometimes he goes too far and makes the hook corny. He did not do that this time. This is a great meshing of two. This song is dope. This is one of my favorite songs on here. Just because it has that old school Big Daddy Kane feel. So I'm going to keep it moving. Next song, before I lose all my light. Next song, number 9, War Against Love, produced by DJ Dahi and DJ Khalil. It's a mid-tempo, bassline-driven track with old school cosmic funky wormish keys and chords, beautiful chilling background singing vocals that send an undercurrent of the song into a semi-dream state. That's a mouthful, right? It's a nice chill mode. Nas shouts out various places and points in his life, along with the various moments he found himself in, and how he charges and changes through the years, and what he did to live with those decisions. There's a lot going on in this song. It's a war against love, and these two guys, I don't really know them as producers, but I may have heard of DJ Khalil before. But Nas picked a very good song from them. This is tailor-made for Nas, perfect Nas, and I like it. Next song, number 10, The Art of It, produced by Pete Rock featuring Jay Myers. Classic Nas bars over a mid-tempo Pete Rock concoction, thumping bass kick with a tambourine hi-hat, riding along with a solid snare. The hook matches excellent with the feel of the lyrics and the beat. The track works well with Nas' hard prophetic lyrics over jarring piano notes. This sounds like this could have been recorded during the Hip Hop Is Dead era. It's superb. He recorded this, in my opinion, many years ago, but it's still dope. Next track, number 11, Highly Favored, another track produced by the RZA. It's more New York stories over wobbly, unorthodox RZA mixtures. Sometimes RZA still brings that ill woo greatness, that era. I don't know why he can't bring it all the time, but who can do anything all the time? Sometimes, like on that new Wu-Tang RZA, Some of that is garbage, just straight up garbage. But this right here, Nas picked through probably how many other beats RZA had and picked the perfect 2 beats, and these joints flow. RZA turns it on and off. I think RZA still has beats he made years ago still on that disc or whatever. Nas is a repetitive jazzy organ keys with almost muted kicks and snare. Nas sound like 2 different people on the first verse and the second verse, which is why, again, this is probably why some of these songs never got released, because the mix down. Because I think Nas jumped in on one point and he sounded like Nas, and on the next one he sounded very high pitched and different, and they didn't mix, they didn't match right. But it's still a dope song if you can overlook that, because it sounds like a whole different person. But if you can overlook that little shortcoming, the song is dope. Number 12, Queen's Wolf, produced by DJ Wolf. It's a soft mid-tempo beat with electro snares and bass kick, daydreamy chords and keys with a fairy tale feel. Not your normal rap song, almost a carnival mood. One of those moments where they can question Nas' beat picking skills again, which they always do. But his vocals can carry almost anything to a higher level, which they do. On this track, they give it a bigger feel. You find yourself listening to his ghetto tales of being a project kid, a project werewolf on the prowl. Very not normal hip-hop. It's anti-rap from what we're hearing these days. These guys aren't being creative at all. They're repeating the same, no matter how dope the beat is, they're repeating the same nonsense. It is in no way, shape, or form anywhere close to what Nas does. Next song, number 13, It Never Ends, produced by The Alchemist. Wah-wah guitars with deep gospel-type piano sparks that almost feel like a deconstruction of the symphony track by the Juice Crew. You know, Craig G, Master Ace, all them guys. It sounds like if you deconstructed that and pulled out the pianos and put them on something else, this would be that. Nas again pulls poetry about how other people perceive him, along with the contrast of the real Nas versus what they think he should be. Alchemist does it again. This is very, very dope. He got, like I said, with the most classic producers, the production is almost perfection. There is very little to complain about in this album. You could say it goes left and right, but it never goes whack. Next song, number 14, You Mean the World to Me, produced by Kanye West, Mr. Yeezy. Low buzzy keys and synths that float bright, like they have floaty bright keys beneath a hypnotic repeated vocal sample. It gives you a very cool funk feel. I think Kanye did a very good job with this track. It doesn't sound rushed, it sounds very thought out. It's a nice soulful bounce, a nice bass guitar that gives it a slight low end bottom. The beat drops out to expose a very eclectic skeleton that holds its own with or without the beat. That buzz synth gives it a jagged sputtering that makes it stand out from the other tracks. Kanye did his thing on here. I'm very pleased to hear that these two can still work together despite of what Nasir came out to be, which Nasir, like I said, wasn't that bad. But this track is fire. I guarantee you this was kept off of Nasir for one reason or another, but it didn't need to be on Nasir. It needed to be right here on Lost Tapes 2. This is superb. I love this track. I will be listening to this a lot. Next song, number 15, Queensbridge Politics, produced by Pete Rock. Soulful samples with bass guitars and pianos, very similar to old Nas tracks off Illmatic, with rhymes that match the classic cadence and imagery of the original debut album. That's how I feel. This feels like something off Illmatic. This literally could be added, in my opinion, to Illmatic without much uproar from fans, because that's how dope this track is. It's an ode to Prodigy of Mobb Deep. He even shouts out Havoc. I mean, he talks about how they went left and he wished they could have fixed it before Prodigy passed. The words are remorseful, retrospective, shining light on what could have been, and wishes of reconciliation and reuniting. This is perfect tragic Nas at his best. Pete Rock blessed him with a beautiful beat. It sounds like some Pete Rock pulled from a time capsule. This is dope. Number 16, and last but not least, this is the final track, I believe. Beautiful Life, produced by No ID, featuring Ray Vaughn. No ID is a master class productionist and came with a big echoey orchestral strings that opens up the track with symphonic pianos and vocal riffs as the intro before the beat changes. The beat changes into a modern rock / Afro punk, spacey, jazzy sample that has a crazy guitar refrain, that no ID intertwined magically through a sexy yeah vocals by Ray Vaughn, that sounds like a mystical gathering of musical spirits on a different celestial plane. Yes, I did write that because that's what it sounded like to me. That's what made me feel. That's what it made me feel like. This is fire. This is dope. Nas has done it again. He sent, you know, he verbal intricacies in the hood, same stuff Nas talks about, but with a beautiful outcome. Eclectic excellence through and through. Beautiful nonfiction. This is dope. I'm giving this album an A++. It's fire. It has its moments where it's old, but it's still dope. Go listen to Lost Tapes. Go listen to Nas. This is dope. This is a meeting of dope minds. Very, very quality. I'm gonna put the stamp on this. This is going to stand the test of time, and I don't believe there are any rap features on here. My name is Chuck Wick Ills. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side. Hit the like, hit the share button on this, and subscribe. Peace.